Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Joaquin Loper, and back to Breaking Through the Noise. I have today with me my friend Jordan Williams. Y'all give it up for Jordan Williams.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
What's
Uh,
up? What's up?
I,
What's
I
up,
I don't
Jordan?
I don't think you introduced me properly. This is my mentor. I'm his mentee.
Well, look, they ain't got no all our business. Uh,
Well,
uh,
Joaquin Loper has helped me ever since I moved here to Birmingham for what, like 3 years now.
By going
Just
for
giving
a year.
me guidance and life advice and all that. And to be honest, at this point, I don't know what I would do without him.
Well, I'm humbled to hear that. Glad I could be of service. But look, man, Jordan, how old are you?
I'm 28.
28. Where'd you move? And where did you move here from?
I moved from Huntsville, Alabama. I went to an HBCU there called Oakwood University. I went there for 4 years. I graduated in marketing, and I worked a little after there, and then I got a job in Birmingham, and here I am.
Yep. And for the people, where'd you go to high school at?
I went to two high schools actually. I went to Georgia Cumberland Academy. That's like an hour north of Atlanta. And for part of my junior year, I went to Pine Forge Academy, which are both boarding schools. Pine Forge Academy is in Pennsylvania, and it is black, like all black. And Georgia Cumberland Academy was more of a mixed experience.
Okay, I want to ask those questions, and I want to get audience a little bit more familiar with who you are
Sure.
and your background because it's different here.
Yeah.
Some of the things we're going to talk about today are some of the questions I'm going to ask you. Man, we're talking about how it is. Like, for instance, we're jumping right into this, people. We're gonna jump right into it. We're going to talk about Jordan. What is it like being a mid 20s, upper 20s young black man? Dating in the South, coming from up north or a little bit the area where more things are a little bit more diverse.
I would say it's difficult for anybody, regardless of ethnicity, if you're a man in your 20s today. That's for a lot of reasons, but a lot of the things that women find attractive in men don't come until later in a man's life. Like men like confidence and competence, well, that takes time to develop. Men like a certain amount of like financial security, well, that what man in their 20s got to figure it out. Women like guys with goals and purpose who are like stuck in their vision, well, that can take years, sometimes even decades to develop. All this kind of stuff. So it can be very difficult dating in your 20s. And I think in the in it's like a lot of this is elevated in African American culture. So um
And what do you mean by that? When you say it's elevated in African community culture, give me a little bit more on that.
so historically, doubling all the way back to back to slavery, we come from a very broken culture, obviously. So, and that has developed and have been has been tainted over the years in a number of different ways. And it has eventually ended up to leading to, I would say, just the genders being at war with each other. When you hear the phrase "I don't need no man," you don't hear it coming from a white woman's mouth. Generally speaking, obviously, but there's a huge stigma, and there's also a huge stigma about black men not being present in their households, and that I just don't think exists in most other cultures the way it
Yeah,
does with us.
yeah, but we know that, but even by study,
Fallacy.
that stigma is a foul stigma.
Yes.
When you look at it across the board, black men are more present in their kids' lives than any other race, and we're not
That
even getting to race, and that's just by the national study done by national institutes across the board. Um,
that's correct. And unfortunately, the stigma is still there and it's
yeah.
present in a lot of people's minds, and it's shaped our culture to be like this.
And just because the culture is like that doesn't mean that you as an individual in your marriage has to be this way.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing that I push. Just because you hear people saying it just doesn't mean it has to be true in your life. Because it's definitely not true in my marriage.
For sure.
Because I'm telling you right now, y'all look at me. Stacy needs me. Yeah, she
Yeah,
needs me.
we yeah, yeah,
And I
we
need
all need each other.
and I need her. Yeah, yeah.
There should be a level of, I think, interdependency between two people, and
Absolutely.
that's one of the biggest reasons why I think, in my generation, I'm Gen Z.
Mhm.
I think people are just getting married less, because marriage, especially for the black community, and especially pre-civil rights, we needed each other. It
Yes.
wasn't optional. We needed to be with each other. Um, But now dating and relationships have been more so of a luxury. So we don't really need each other in the anymore in the sense of romantic relationships and marriages like we used to. Now, obviously, there are many major benefits to having a partner, but it is not on the forefront anymore. It hasn't become a necessity like it did 50 years ago even.
Well, I believe I agree with what you said to a certain extent because we still need one another in order for the black community to get back to where we are as a people.
I agree.
Do you now am I saying that, you have to marry someone of your own ethnicity? No. But if we're just talking about this particular conversation or this particular topic, then yeah. But it goes back to men being men and women being women.
Hmm.
That's it. I wholeheartedly believe that women have gotten away from walking in their femininity, and that is their superpower.
Mm.
And men, how we have not had the right mentors and people to look up to, especially from a man's point of view of how a man is supposed to walk and, how can I say, reverence and power in his own home.
Why do you think that is?
It's because of the brokenness after the civil rights movement.
Hmm.
It is because more people started women equality, which I believe I wholeheartedly understand why the movement had to happen in the way it did.
Yes.
However, you can't get to a point where you think that we're even across the board.
Hmm.
We're not. Especially now. Now, once we get married, are we equal to a certain extent? Yes. But if you just throw 50 men and 100 women in a room, no marriages, there's still not equality because those 50 men are still stronger than those 100 women. You combine our strength and theirs together, we're still stronger.
Yep.
Now, do we become better using our wit, getting out of situations and building things together? Of course we do. But when it comes down to us being who we need to be, we have to be the stronger in the room.
Yep.
We are, and that takes nothing away from the woman. That's just how God has made us.
Yep.
Are there many things that the women are better than us in? Yes. Nurturing, being loving, not having tunnel vision. The men are, because we are fixers. We're not trying to worry about options about getting things done. We're talking about getting stuff done.
Women's intuition is the thing.
That's what makes you so strong as a woman. But that's what makes you the vessel that makes us better as men. And I've learned this over my right 18 years of marriage. My wife's ability to show me how to be loving and nurturing is her superpower. Because the softness I have in me now, the nurturing I have in me that I tapped into, and the being loving and more gentle, that came from my wife. Helped me get there. That wasn't me.
That's kind of the difficult thing that my generation specifically. Well, actually, I don't think it started with my generation, for sure not. But
No, of course.
it's starting to get worse and somewhat better as time progresses. The pendulum always swings back and forth when it comes to any time period in history. But we have forgotten the strengths and weaknesses that God has delegated men and women in their roles romantically with each other. And a lot of that cannot be overwritten with social programming. For example, men are expected to some degree to be the leaders and the providers of the household. And I understand that's very nuanced and it can look a little bit different depending on the household, the culture. I get that.
Right.
But historically, that's how it's always been. And, women have fought tooth and nail from, to get like equal rights and equal opportunity and stuff like that and make equal money and have equal power to men. And the consequence of that is that they still want a man who is a leader provider in the household. And so this makes it difficult because while they want that, they don't want to subjugate themselves to listening to the leadership. And so it creates a very difficult power struggle for the relationship to function properly.
I think it can work in any situation, in any relationship, as long as there are boundaries.
Yes.
My thing is, I want you as a woman to make more money. I don't care if you make more money than me.
Right.
That doesn't dictate the power dynamics in this marriage or in this house.
Correct.
I should be happy for you. If my wife makes more money than me, I am happy for her.
Right.
I am happy for us. But on one hand, a woman can't say, I'm a boss, I want more money, I want this, but I want a man to take care of me.
Exactly. It's that doesn't work.
That's a contradiction. My thing is,
that doesn't work.
Okay, I will challenge any woman watching this episode and this video. I would challenge you to have a conversation with me and explain to me why you say that I don't need a man, but you want a man to take care of you. Once you get with one, because now it's all of a sudden, well, now that I'm with you, you got to be able to pay my bills like this.
Right. It becomes that or some version of that. And this makes it very, very difficult for both genders because it's like women still have this biological need and instinct where they want a man who is, strong in his masculine, who is protecting and leading the household. But at the same time, they don't want to, they don't want to be controlled in any type of way, shape, or form. So this creates an issue. It's like wanting to be a boss and an employee at the same time. It doesn't work. And
Yeah.
a lot of women end up being like micromanaging their own domination fantasy.
Yep.
It's like it doesn't work like that.
That's a great analogy. And I will say this: you can't say I'm gonna listen outside of the marriage, outside of the home, and then come home and say I'm not gonna listen here.
Yes.
That goes against God's law.
Yes.
If you're gonna listen to your quote unquote boss or your manager, and you won't listen to your husband. Which one has more love for you?
And that's the point. A lot of unfortunately, especially in my generation, a lot of women today have traded a family for a paycheck.
Yep.
Birth rates are at an all-time low. No one's getting married in my generation. People are even having like alcohol consumption and even like intercourse less in my generation. In my opinion, from what I have researched, studied, and experienced, it's just simple economics. It's like a lot of women are doing so much better than men in my generation that a lot of men are just not economically attractive enough for them to consider for long-term commitment. And also women have been sold a bill of goods to trade basically to listen to their often male employer rather than listening to a man.
Well,
In
here's
the
the
long.
thing: the male employee has nothing to lose with her.
Hmm.
Think about it.
And,
This is
and intercourse is not a factor between them. Well, I mean, ideally.
it could be if they just want to get the feelings off.
Right.
This is what most people don't understand, that I think our past generations learned a little quicker than we did. As your husband, and this is what I learned early on in my marriage when we had some rocky moments when I was trying to be a husband instead of just being a man.
Mm.
It's my job. It's my job to kind of make you feel bad at times as a wife. As my wife. You know why? Because in those moments I make you feel bad, I've either told you no, not giving you your way, and my leadership looks differently than you've ever seen when it comes to a man.
Yeah.
But once you see the full picture, you understand, oh, that's why he was doing that. Oh, that's why he did that. That's why he said no.
Yeah, but and that's how leadership often works. I mean,
Period.
no. I mean, you're military. Could you imagine if like the privates and the captains and corporals could tell the generals and the lieutenant colonels what to do? That
Period.
doesn't work.
But this is the thing. Women don't want to see the equality in that when it comes to marriage. They say we want equality, but it doesn't go both ways. You
Right.
can't have your way all the time and not expect a man to say, look, these are the boundaries.
Right. Responsibility without authority is slavery. It's like you want me to be all responsible for the relationship and what goes right and what goes wrong in it, which is completely fine. I think men should do that.
Yes.
But at the same time, you don't want to submit and listen. And that doesn't work.
But this is the thing, Jordan. I want to make sure I preference everything we've said by saying this in a nutshell. The submission goes both ways.
And the
I don't
Bible
want
says
women,
that.
I do not want women to sit here and thinking that I'm saying that the man has all authority, all this. No. When it comes to marriage, and I'm talking about marriage, if we are married, the submission goes both ways, because there are moments when us men can be so tunnel vision that we'll drive ourselves over a cliff. But that's the beauty of being a helpmeet and being a woman. It's your job to when you're being the woman that you're supposed to be in a marriage. You have that man's ear like no other person does.
Yes.
Does he always seem like you have his ear? No, because we're men. We want to be right on a lot of occasions, but we have
Yeah.
to be smart to say, you know what? She sees something that I don't see. That's
Yeah.
that's why it's never for me and my marriage is never an I got us here. It's always a we are here together.
Right. It's a team effort. It's a joint effort. Yeah.
Team.
It's like, I tell people, like, think of it as like a good leader. A good leader is not like a dictator just bossing you around, telling you what to do. You have no rights. You have no, that's oppression. That's a dictatorship. But a good leader knows how to listen, knows how to delegate tasks properly, sees the bigger picture. Is he going to get everything right? No. But like for example, in my workplace, and or even like on a sports team, like some players are better than the captain at certain things.
Period.
They just are, and it's for the captain to realize that and say, I'm not strong here. I want you to do this. That is good delegation as a leader. So
And another thing a good leader does is he sees the potential in the person that he's with, and they help grow that potential.
yeah. That's what a good
They
leader does.
Yeah, they don't sit up there and talk behind their back and say, "Well, they ain't good. I wish they'd be better than this." No, a good leader, male and female, husband and wife, says, "Hey, you can really be good at this if we work on this.
Yes.
How do we work on
Yes.
that?"
Yes.
Problem with marriages is husbands and wives, men and women are marrying people that they want to be a perfect husband and wife, which that takes time and growth. And once you get to that point you think they want, you're gonna want
Mhm.
something else.
Yeah.
Once again,
Yeah.
I've been with my wife knowing her 21 years. She is not the same woman she was 21 years ago. My wife ain't the same woman she was 21 days ago. So we're forever changing. I think that, and that's the beauty in marriage. That's the beauty in relationships.
Mhm.
As we grow and as we evolve, we get to not only fall in love over again with someone who's evolving and learn their different ways, they get to do the same for us.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's amazing that, we say want this, we want that, but we'll meet somebody else that has what we seen what we want, and we'd rather just throw everything away with this person and go to that person. It don't make sense.
Right.
We
Right.
don't, I don't understand how men. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that because I don't
Oh.
understand. I don't understand a lot of people's inability to deal with struggles and the trauma that they need to get through and get over.
Yes. Yes.
I would ask you, you're 28 years old. Have you ever been married? You ever been close to marriage?
When you say close, do
Have
you
you ever
mean
been
like
Have
engaged?
you ever been engaged? Yeah.
No.
At 28, why not? Think about it. Your great grandfather, your grandfather, and your father, because of their age and the generations they were raised in, and the generation of which families were started, they got married young.
18, 19, 20.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I see nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
I see nothing wrong with it. My thing is, I wish me and my wife could have been mature enough and met at around that age, because there are a lot of stuff that we got into and a lot of people we dealt with that wouldn't have been a factor in our marriage going forward. The longer you wait to marry, the longer you wait to be committed to someone, the more trauma and drama that you bring into a relationship.
There are definitely pros and cons to getting married later, and that is one big con of, like, you guys are both like, if I choose hypothetically, if I choose to get married when I'm 35, I mean, I do have the choice of marrying, someone who's much younger than me that may not have a lot of experience. I do have that choice, but I'm also carrying a certain level of baggage and trauma with me and life experience, and that can be a good and a bad thing.
Yeah. I will say this: if you are a person living your life and having a lot of fun, ain't nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're gonna do, do it. As a man, I can still produce. My body still has the ability to produce and create a baby in my 70s.
Right. Most normal healthy men do.
Most women are trying to live their life, and I want to settle down when I'm 35, 40, and now you're like, but I want kids.
And that's a big issue in my generation, and something that I'm actually somewhat struggling with. It's like, this has been my personal experience, and this has also been backed up a little bit as well by some statistics. It's like, there are more men in my generation that are interested in settling down and having families during that time than women are.
Yeah.
I meet far more men who, in my personal experience, I meet far more men who are interested in being married and having a family than women are in my generation.
Yes.
And I know that's for a lot of reasons, but like the flip side is, like, you're kind of like trying, as a man, if you're looking to get married, you're kind of working, against the grain, and you're trying hard to find, the right mate. Or you choose to wait until you're 35, when she's finished having, either having fun or focusing on her career, or both. And by the time she's 35, it doesn't become an attractive offer anymore. It's just not. And that, just to clarify for the audience, that has nothing to do with looks, by the way. There are plenty of girls that look way better in their 30s than I knew them in their 20s. Yeah, as doesn't do with looks.
Most women, this is the truth, man. Most men that mature, I've heard women say they look better as they get older.
Oh yeah, like wine.
Most women don't understand this, or they will use this saying, "He just wants some little young thing who he can't, so he can handle, because he can handle me." No. You're 35 with 2 kids. You're 35 with 3 kids, and 2 different baby daddies, and she's 27 with no kids, has her stuff together, and you just getting yours together. Which one do you think is a more viable choice?
And I think that's a failure to understand, like, what men are actually looking for when it comes to partners. Like, women sometimes, and men sometimes, think like we're looking for the same things. Like men look for
Women,
completely different things than women. Women look for completely things than men.
period.
It's just
And this is what women fail to realize. When you say you're looking for a man who can provide and be secure, all
hmm
you're thinking about is monetary. All you think about is monetary. Women
hmm
back in the day, they wanted a man who could provide and secure their safety, their
hmm
ability to be women.
mm,
The money's going to come.
yeah.
But if that man allows that woman to build him to make him the man he needs to be,
hmm
that comes with time. We'll make that happen. But most people get married today and want you to provide all the stuff you see other people with all of a sudden. That ain't how that
That
ain't how, that ain't how it works.
that is that does lead into one of my other points. I think pornography is much more dangerous for men and social media is much more dangerous for women. When it comes to social media, a lot of women are attracted to it for a multitude of reasons. They then get more influenced by it for a multitude of reasons. And listen, I'm in the industry, all right? I'm in
Yeah, yeah.
marketing, I'm in social media. This is my job. All right. Most marketing cater towards women. I mean, when you think about it, concerts, the term groupie is women.
Women. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Women are big time consumers. They make up 80% of the consumer base.
Mm.
And so a lot of their emotions are intertwined in social media and what they see and what their friends do and the people that they see. It's like, well, my man is not doing this. He doesn't look like this. He's not giving me this lifestyle. Now, historically, that didn't used to be right like in the early 2000s, the 90s, 80s, and downward. That competition was not there. It was who you met in your community.
Yes,
That's
yes.
that's it. But now you're competing against
The
basically
world.
her expectations and the world. So and it becomes insanely difficult to like appeal to these standards. And yeah, I
But
mean, you see people. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I want to stick right there because it's really an illusion.
hmm
Because most women say, "Well, I want this type of man." Well, first of all, let's just be real. And I'm not knocking anybody. Most women cannot handle what they think their dream man is supposed to be and look like.
No, not at all.
Most women, most and people are too insecure to handle the type of man they say they want.
100%.
Because there are women right now walking past good men every day
hmm
because they say, "I don't like the shoes he have on. He's too
Yeah.
short.
Yeah.
He's too fit."
Yeah.
But if you had that 6'4", 6'5" man who makes this kind of money, who you think else want it? That man could not be able to get out of your eyesight without you feeling some kind of way. Let's not be trip. We want a certain type of woman in stature, but a lot of the women, no, you can't go nowhere. Hey,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
what's your,
unfortunate. Because I mean, I've dated on dating apps, and I'm not 6 foot. I'm 5'11".
hmm?
I'm right there, and I'm taller than most women. But the thing is, since I don't meet that height requirement, I get axed out from a lot of girls' vision just based on me being 5'11".
But I'll
And
tell you
that
what,
that's a statistic, by the way.
statistically, black men over 6 foot or over 6'2", that's like what, 17, 19% of the
Less,
population?
less. It's like 10%.
10 to 12,
And
okay, 10 to
Yeah,
12.
and that's considering married men, older men, men in prison. That's just considering their height. That's
And
that's
that's
not
just
considering,
height.
yeah, that's
Now
just height.
let's not even put in money. And
Money,
this
how much he
this is
makes,
one thing
nothing.
I would challenge. This is one thing I would challenge men and women, but especially men, since we talk about the this providing and all this stuff.
Hmm.
If you marry a man, aren't you supposed to make him better? And if you make that man better, shouldn't you make him better to do whatever he needs to be able to do monetarily?
Yeah,
Because if you bring in what you're bringing in, shouldn't that mean more money for the house?
that's the thing, Joaquin. Because of social media and a lot of this culture, two things on that. One, women are doing better than men in almost every conceivable metric in my age demographic. So if they meet a man who is lesser than them in especially when it comes to monetary, they think I'm not paying a grown or I'm not going to help a grown man. That's a boy, not a man. That's the first thing, and they think to themselves when they get the money. And this was actually a study done in either Denmark or Belgium, somewhere in Europe. And I wish I could pull up the study. I should have pulled it up. But when it's basically a 20-year study, it's very conclusive. A 20-year study of women. When women get more money and they're not in a relationship, it is far less likely for them to marry. Like the more money they get, they think to themselves, I don't need a man. But when guys get more money, they think to themselves, it's time to start a family.
Who can I? And this is the thing, and not only that, men will definitely marry below their means.
Absolutely.
Way before a woman is not considering marrying below her means. She's not marrying nobody who works at Burger King.
Absolutely.
We'll see a beautiful woman that works at the grocery store and be like, "Oh my gosh, she's beautiful."
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
this the thing. He could be a millionaire.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
It does
Doesn't
not matter.
matter.
But a millionaire woman ain't go. She's not gonna look below her. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing you can ever. I mean, if we're looking to be married and we're not looking to be compatible socially or economically, we're looking to be married and build a family and a legacy. That has nothing to do with the money we make.
The first line of one of the biggest feminist novels ever written, Pride and Prejudice,
Mm.
is written by friends Jane Austen. The first line in the book was, "It is a truth well known that a man in a great possession with a great fortune is in search for a wife." It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
When men get the means and the resources, they think it's time to settle down.
Want to.
Yeah,
We want
it's time
to.
to settle down. But
But a woman coming to hers, it's time to be like, well, I don't need no. And this is the
yeah,
thing.
it's like, I'm
And
doing
I
just
hate to
fine. I
say
don't
it.
need a man.
I'm not even gonna call any names unless you want me to. But and just a woman who has the means, she's about to be used. She's about to be ran through because the
Yes.
men are gonna show interest, but they're gonna show interest for one thing.
My
And
I have a very
once they're done with you,
I have a very close friend who is going through a relatively similar situation. He's about 31 and he is talking to a girl who's around that age, and she's basically pressuring him for marriage. And I told him, I was like, listen, her poor planning is not your problem. Like,
period.
she has probably, as she's 31, I was like, she's probably passed up on many good guys in the past, many perfectly fine suitors. As a matter of fact, this is why matchmaker Rebecca Lynn Pope in Atlanta refused to work with women anymore. She refused to work with them in matchmaking. She said
sure
their
did.
standards were
She sure did.
their standards are too ridiculous. They
Yep.
they don't make no sense, and they're passing up on incredible men. And it's like it makes it, as a man, it makes it very hard to date. And I'm gonna just be honest with you, Joaquin. I'm gonna be real honest with you. As much as I'm an advocate for families and community. I mean, we go to church together. I'm a huge advocate for like serving and like being part of something greater, especially to build for God's kingdom. But like, I do not see it feasible for most people in my generation, especially when it comes from men looking for actual wives. I just don't. And I'll stand on that.
Do you want to be married?
Yes, sir. Eventually,
Yeah. Do you want to marry a black woman?
I'm open to it. I like race to me. If the right woman comes along, then I'm open.
I didn't ask y'all that. Just, do you want to marry a black woman?
Maybe.
Okay. Not out of your feelings, not out of what you've seen in today,
Mhm.
but knowing the historical significance of just America. Now, we can say the world.
For sure.
Would you want to be with a black woman?
I would.
Okay.
I would.
But
Is that?
because,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, however, because of the change and the inability for a lot of black women to be able to submit and understand what it means, not lesser than,
Mhm.
but to treat you like a king and everything, that what opens up the window for you to be able to say, I'm open to it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Serious, because I've asked a lot of young black men, man, do you want to be married to a black woman? Absolutely, and absolutely. However, you're the first one to say, I'm willing.
Yeah. I'm willing. But I want to make something clear. That has nothing to do with the stigma that comes behind black women. Most of my girlfriends have been black. I do not, my mother's black. Like, I'm not holding black women or any women in contempt because of this. I'm just saying, like, because of these social stigmas, it's making it harder for me to find a proper mate.
Exactly. So that's why I was asking the question. I wasn't saying that it's shunned upon or looked away from. No. There were a few Caucasian women that I personally could have saw myself with when I was out there in the world.
Yeah.
If you know my wife Stacy, she probably the closest thing to white you can marry if you marry a black woman. So but this is the thing. I don't care who you marry or what race you marry from. You're going to deal with some of those stigmas because of the generation that you're in.
Absolutely.
But how do we start reversing the concept of I don't want to be with you because of how much money you make? Because it starts with the initial attraction. When you meet someone that you're attracted to, you're not looking at them saying, "Oh my God, they have this much money."
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Men aren't.
There you go.
Women normally are.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it depends on where they meet them, what they have on, what they're driving,
Yep.
who they're around. I'm gonna tell you one of the worst songs I ever heard. I never liked it. The beat is hard. I love the beat.
Okay.
TLC. I don't want no scrub. I never liked that song. Even when I was in high school, I used to listen to it, and I used to it used to be something that would just stood out to me. I
Yes, and
don't
that
want.
song came out when I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't want no scrub. A man riding on the passenger side. Wonder if that man in town and just riding on the passenger side with his friend. Wonder if I'm the passenger. Wonder if I'm the passenger and my friend driving my car, but I'm
Yeah,
trying to holler at you. But you're looking at me because and this is another stigma. I ain't gonna talk to that man. He the passenger, but
yep,
you don't even know the reason I'm the passenger.
right, right,
So now,
right.
once again, but you will go out there and twerk on top of a table and then come in my face and think, I want to marry you when you just twerked in front of all 50 of these other men.
Correct. It's correct. And I know a lot of people, and I've heard people say this, that, oh, Jordan, you just need to find, a good church going woman, and
Yeah.
then a lot of this will clear up. And I mean, listen, I already see your face. It's just like it's not that much different. Like
No, it's
I
not.
think I think when it comes to church women and church girls, you can find a lot of them that are like in the church. They're not out there being promiscuous, or they're not out there like in crazy activities. But when you start talking to them, it's like you start to see that they're not really wife material,
They're
unfortunately.
broke. They're broken. A
Hmm.
lot of most women, if they're not raised from the age of conception to be that godly woman, a lot of
Yep.
them have found Christ because they've been broken and that was their savior. And that, of course, that's where
Mhm.
it should be when you're broken, finding Christ. But then what do you do after that? Because now you have so many red flags. It's like
Right.
now I'm supposed to be the one to fix all of this in you and deal with you while I'm fixing it.
Yeah. And that's not an attractive deal
No, it's
for
not.
most men.
No,
It's not an attractive deal.
finding somebody in the church is it's a catch-22 because most of them don't want to let you know what they've been through when that's just who you are.
Hmm.
My wife was not church. She was not church material when I met her. Please, no, no, she was not.
Hmm.
One time, I wish I'd have found me a church girl, but that wasn't our fate. Okay, let me say this: one of you met a female who's not being promiscuous. Um, she might even be a virgin,
Okay.
but she's been so churched that she doesn't know how to get outside of that church stigma when she gets married. I hear it all the time. I know people that will say, and matter of fact, they showed a little example of it on the movie Tyler Perry movie.
Not
Oh,
temptation.
boom.
It's temptation. Yeah, I thought it was that one. I thought it was that
Is
one.
it
Yeah.
was it is not is it temptation? It's I forgot the name of it. But in there, they were so saved that he told his wife, and the wife was like, "No, we're supposed to make love and have sex in the bed, not in the kitchen,
Mhm.
not in the
It,
car."
yes, I believe it was temptation. I believe it was temptation.
Yes, I think it was.
Mhm.
Not being spontaneous. It's supposed to be this way. No, we're married.
Mhm.
We can do what we the bed. He said the bedroom. Dog it. I forgot the name of it. Don't remember how the scripture goes.
No, but you're absolutely right.
Oh,
But
I'm sorry. I'll scratch that part.
to be honest, Joaquin, like,
Oh, that's what it said. I'm sorry. The bedroom is undefiled.
oh yeah,
That doesn't mean the
according to Paul.
bedroom.
Yep.
That means
Yep.
our sexual interactions.
Hmm.
So why are you limiting me?
Right. Right.
Why
Right.
are you
Right.
limiting our mind that to explore our relationship wherever we are?
Hmm.
And most women that come from the streets will now get saved in the church, and now all the stuff you used to do in the streets, now you all of a sudden don't want to do.
Yes, yeah, yeah, and it's that problem. It's like, you make you make the guy who you're married to long term pay like double, triple, quadruple the amount when guys in your past didn't have to pay like anything. And it's
Yeah,
just unfortunately that kind of thing is just an unfair, like it's an unfair deal to men. I'm not saying any woman who has lived a troubled past deserves to be unmarried. I'm not saying that.
we've
Um,
all lived a trouble
yeah,
past.
all of us have a troubled past, and and especially when it comes to like promiscuous women. Listen, I'd be the biggest hypocrite. Okay,
Hmm.
I'd be the biggest hypocrite if I were to like judge and like shame someone for that. The issue is the mentality about it going in. Unfortunately, in my experience, a lot of women have not, especially like later on, have not done the proper work and they're not in the right mindset to get married yet after the redemption.
Well, I think if they're willing to be married, I think it has a lot to do with the people that they're going to be around, the mentors they have into going be married. You just because your mind is right and ready to be married doesn't mean you know how to be married without the
Right.
proper people helping you navigate through those things. I'm not.
It's like it has to be malleable.
It has to be. I'm not
Hmm.
the husband I am only because of my wife. No, I'm the husband I am because of my wife and the foundation of men that I have in my life that have corrected me when I've been wrong.
Yep.
And those men are good husbands or good former husbands or just good men. They don't
Hmm.
mind correcting me and say, hey, son, it's one thing to be a man, but hey, chill your behind out. Listen to your wife when she says that. And
Yep.
men and women need other men, women in their life to say, sweetie, sit your behind down and let that man
Hmm.
be a man.
Hmm.
Let him discipline them kids and stop talking to him while he's doing that.
Hmm.
Stop cutting his knees from up under him.
Yeah.
Or better yet, just use one word and tell him, no, two words and tell him, hey girl, shut up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just because your
Absolutely.
mind is ready don't mean you are prepared and ready to do that without the proper guidance.
Right, right. That's what I mean by mind being ready, just being malleable, being able to
Yes,
be willing to learn, be in the position to be willing to learn and grow.
you have to be.
And yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of just people in general are not willing to do that. They're not. They're too stubborn and stuck in their ways,
Mhm.
and a lot of it can get worse the older you get because you're more stuck in your ways.
Yep, yeah, and it's a lot of non-negotiables you have to have for yourself and for the relationship.
That's correct.
And I would say this: you travel to other countries, you do not have the problem that you have in this Western society called America when it comes to dating and stuff.
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, both of my parents are big proponents of me leaving the country to find a to
And
find
guess
a
what?
partner. And
Well, I went.
my last long term partner was Latina. So like a lot of her family values, she was trained. She was
Yes,
trained like
yes,
to be a wife. And like a lot of the girls that I meet that are true wife material that come from foreign backgrounds,
yeah.
whether
Because
it's
it's a different type of culture.
it is, and
They're
a lot
taught,
of
they're taught, they're taught. I'm not gonna say praise that man, but treat that man as a king because he is a king. There is no way a woman can be a king.
hmm.
A king is on the throne with his queen at his side.
Yes, not equal.
It's not equal.
It's not equal.
But for me to choose you as my queen, I'm giving you a place by my side.
Hmm.
So guess what? When I speak, I should be speaking with you in mind.
Hmm.
My wife doesn't. We don't make decisions in this house without consulting each other. And if I do make a decision without her, I'm already thinking about how she would feel about this situation.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
But
and that's called respect.
yes, but most women will say, "Well, I can do what I want to. I make my own money." It ain't about your money.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not about your money.
It's not.
It's about honor and respect. Men want honor and respect.
That's it. That's it.
That
That's it.
that is our comparison to love.
I, historically, probably I kind of cut this out in my mid 20s, but like basically all my teenage years and like my early 20s, I did subscribe to the whole like equality in relationships and the kind of share and stuff like that. And listen, I would be an advocate for it if it actually worked. And
Yeah,
like it just doesn't work. When I actually started to kind of be called to be the man that God called me to be, and I started taking charge and actually, having a vision and proper leadership in my relationships and cultivating my relationships with women got 20 times, 50 times better.
mhm,
And they started loving me for it and respecting me more. And I'm just like, okay, this works. So I want to tell the audience, I would not be subscribing to this if God didn't say it and if it didn't work.
yep.
But God said it and it works.
Yep. Let me ask you this: for the people out there, components of equality, especially females,
Yeah.
if I'm not even gonna say a bear, if we're walking down the street and a dog, a rock growler,
Hmm.
comes around the gate and starts running at us, me as a man, I expect you to run toward that dog and fight, defend, get him off us.
Facts.
Now, how do
Facts.
I say? How do I? No. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, no, no,
As a
no, no,
man,
no, no, no. Yeah, yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
so you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Most women,
it's facts. It's
if I
ridiculous.
take off running and jump on a car and she gets bit, I'm the biggest punk ever.
Ever,
You
ever.
are. Whoa. I thought we were equal.
Yeah,
So I took my jump on the car and let you do it.
I use that same example. I'm like, okay, because I talked to a woman on a date like that. I said, okay, let's say we're married. We're upstairs in the bed. A window breaks downstairs and we hear people intruding. Between the two of us, who's going downstairs? See, if I was with my homeboys, we'd all go downstairs.
Period.
But yeah,
Period. But
yeah.
this is the thing. This now I'm gonna tell you why I say women have gotten away from a few things,
Hmm.
especially internally and intuition with their intuition. If that same scenario happens and a woman and a man is in the bed, they hear a window break and there's a baby in the room next door. You know what that woman's doing?
Going to the baby.
She runs to that baby.
You're going to the baby. And then the guy's going to go downstairs. Check it out.
That's the role. That's roles right there in a nutshell.
Yep.
I am a provider. You are a nurturer.
Yeah. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It's like it's a beautiful thing that God made of us. It's like we're like the perfect puzzle piece. With puzzle pieces, they all look different, but they all fit together. That's what makes them a puzzle.
Make one big picture.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that picture is in the end, you're scrambling for pieces.
Yeah.
But the only time you scramble for pieces if we're looking together. So when you get married, it's not about. And this is the thing. I don't look here. I'm gonna do an entire live on this. I'm so tired of women talking about I'm an alpha woman. You ain't no alpha woman. Ain't nothing alpha about a woman. Stop saying that. Don't just be a woman. What's wrong with just being a woman? Matter of fact, I ain't even trying to walk in the room and be an alpha man. I am who I am. And if what I bring makes me more attractive to a job or a person, that just means I'm better qualified for it and I'm better, positioned for it. A man talking a lot of noise and barking a lot doesn't mean that the man in the corner that's quiet is less than him.
There's a fantastic quote in Game of Thrones. A man who says who has to say he's the king is not a king.
Is not a king.
Yeah.
It's not a king. That's why if me and my wife are out and Jordan, you try to step to my wife, initially, that's not my job to run up on you. Hey man, that's my woman. My job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just made a video the other day about the person who places the crown on my head as a king. It's my wife.
Mm-hmm.
When I walk into a room, if I'm single, I am a prince.
Mm-hmm.
I am a king in my own sense. But when I become married, that woman places the crown on my head.
Yeah.
From the way she talks about me, the way she respects me, the way she respects herself when she's out and about. Now, if you are that person stepping to my wife and she done told you she's married and I'm her husband and I'm sitting right over here. Mm-hmm. Now, if you keep pursuing, now I got to be the king.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Vice versa. When you see me walking around as a happy man, smiling all the time, hey, why he so happy? You see my wife? No, she's happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Your job as a woman is to make that man happy. Your job as a husband is to make that woman happy. But it does. Neither one of those can come at the price of sacrificing who you are.
Yep. That's correct.
And most people say, well, I'm supposed to lose myself just because I marry a man. Yes.
Yeah. You're men and women, when you get married, you're surrendering some degree of self-sufficiency.
Who you were as a man. When I marry a woman, am I supposed to lose who I was? Yes.
The two shall become one flesh.
One. You're not that person anymore.
Yeah.
The person I was prior to me meeting my wife, I was sleeping with all these women, and I talk crazy to people. I'm supposed to be that same person? No.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why
having a girlfriend and having a wife are completely
different things.
It's
two different things. People that see me now, all 18 years after marriage, they be like, bro, you ain't even the same person. I'm not supposed to be.
Yeah, that means you're doing something right.
So, so women need to get up that concept of this is who I am. That used to be one of my favorite sayings. Man, this is who I am. You knew who I was before you married me. No. I saw the potential in you and I knew you wanted to love me, so I didn't think you would treat me this way.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, I think this is a very good conversation I need to have with more men. I want to have a whole panel of men on here and have this conversation. That's probably going to be my next.
Yeah, you should get one, or you should get like one from each generation.
That's what I said. I was going to have different age groups.
Yeah,
different age groups, because what your generation has seen as marriage material growing up has been totally different than what I saw marriage material growing up. Me and my father saw marriage material growing up, and then there's a lot of similarities as well. But how do we navigate these things? Why do women think that they are entitled to certain things and to go certain places and all this just because you become a wife or because I choose you?
That's what they've been sold since they were children.
They've been lied to.
Yeah, 100%.
If I meet you, I wish just like that thing that was going around a couple years ago about the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that. Like, I've been on. Joaquin, I have countless stories of dates that I've been on and women I've talked to that just have these insane standards, and it looks and they accept, and anything less is settling.
Yeah, and this is the thing, they can't even do it for themselves, George.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing.
I know women right now. How are you gonna tell me that I have to provide? You got to be able to provide, XYZ from me. You renting a house and that car isn't even in your name. How you gonna
It's
tell me that you can't even do it for yourself and you expect me to do it? You right, we unequally. You right, we are unequal.
yeah, and like guys are realizing this in my age group, and they're just not dating anymore. A lot of Gen Z men have checked out of dating because of this, and I want the audience to understand that like I'm not just talking about my personal experience or what I heard a few guys say. A lot of this is backed by statistics,
Yeah. And
and yeah,
go ahead.
and it's just not uncommon. It's not uncommon, and that goes for the church and otherwise.
Yeah. But and this is what I will say. I think that's a cop out because
Go ahead.
as soon as they get close to a female, guess what they want? Man, I can see myself being married to this one. Because it's a natural inclination for you to get close to someone and be like, man, I can see myself settling down with that one.
Yeah.
But because of how people have been in the society has become, we would tell ourselves, I'd rather not, because of the benefits that come along with it. Well, why not just sleep around? Why not?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, bro. I was there. Look, you know it's sad when you're sleeping with different females and you're telling yourself, man, this ain't even fun no more.
Yeah.
It has to be more than this.
Mhm.
My biggest flex is telling people that, man, I love being a husband. I love being a husband to one woman who I've never stepped out on. That's my biggest flex.
Mhm.
If people knew how many women I slept with, they'd be like, God, dog, man. But let me ask you this: what did I gain out of that?
Nothing. I mean, hedonism is a black hole. It's like, and I've tried to one of my someone very close to me, one of my younger family members, he's like, man, Jordan, I'm trying to get out here and get crazy. I'm just like, bro, trust me. Once you've had like enough women, there are no new women, and it's a pointless exercise. Trust me, it is a pointless exercise. At least feel like you could have the baddest of the bad, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's empty.
Yep. Q, my man Q said it best on Best Man. He said, man, forget y'all. Y'all know ain't nothing better than some coochie, but some new coochie.
Yes.
Because if that's your mindset, that piece of till ain't gonna make you happy. But when you build something with someone and y'all are still desiring each other, they're still desiring you and attracted to one another. Well, and I'll tell you, be realistic. If you mess around and have a wife who's been faithful to you and she has a couple kids and she gains a little weight, what do you expect her to do? She's gonna gain weight. She's still working. She doesn't have a personal trainer. Her hormones and all her the chemicals in her body are changing. She gains a little weight. She gained that weight because she had them kids, for one.
Okay.
I used to be kind of that senile, crazy. I'd be like, hey, you need to get back in shape. She just had a baby 6 months ago. She out of shape because of me.
Yeah. It's like
I learned to love that person for who she is. Most women want to be Boris Kojo. You want to be married to Boris Kojo or
Michael Ealy.
or Michael Ealy. Yeah. Guess what?
Idris Elba.
Those people have made it in the industry where they have private and personal trainers to get them back to where they need to be. Their bills are not a factor. My bills are a factor.
Also,
so I don't have time for the gym. And some of them have. It don't have to be steroids. It can be the stem cells and the HG. I forgot what all the other things are called. That speeds their metabolism up. That keeps them to a certain point. Yeah, but guess what? Even if they were shooting up or doing these things, they still have to have the discipline and the money to get to a gym to work out the way they need to get there. Most men are gaining a little weight or women gaining a little weight because they don't have time to go to a gym because they're working to pay bills. And I'm gonna be honest with you, all women out here saying that I'm so fine, I'm this. Okay, me personally, I'd rather not deal with a fine woman, her attitude. I'd rather take an average looking young lady who loves just having life, who knows how to be submissive, who knows how to build me, and me allow me to be the man I am, and we get married, and she gets herself in shape, and then she gets even fine.
Yeah. Invest in. I mean, I'm using this word like leniently, but like. Invest in an ugly duckling.
I ain't even ugly duckling because I don't believe, and this is me being politically correct. I don't believe there's a such thing as ugly. I believe there's a such thing as I'm attracted to her and she's just not my type. Because who somebody says is not my type is beautiful to somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody can see me and be like, oh my God, I love. And let's not even talk about this. Most women that say, I want a man 6 foot, all this. Okay, if Bow Wow or Jermaine Dupri or if some of these people step to you and they're 5'6" and 5'7", that's their height, 5'8", guess what you would do? Faint.
Exactly.
Because
Tupac was 5'8", or Tupac was 5'8".
Yeah. So when you're looking at these things, it's the charisma they bring and the money. You ain't worried about it. You ain't worried about that, how tall that man is, what that man can provide for you. I told my sister this. I said, girl, you better go find you go down there. A lot of all the Mexicans down there, all the men down there ready to take care of a woman, work their behind off to take care of the woman and be family oriented.
Yep.
You worried about he not tall enough.
Crazy.
Because your track record shows that all the tall men you dated hadn't wanted to be with you. So how's that working out for you?
Yeah. And this is why my advice to men in my age group, which I'm currently doing, is that like if you're a guy in your late teens and 20s and even some of your 30s, my opinion is not to, if you want to get married, do not focus primarily on getting a wife. Focus on building yourself.
Mhm.
And if the right woman comes along and she is truly down for you, and like no sham, she is like really dedicated and loyal to help you build your ship, then great. But unfortunately, Joaquin, because of a lot of the freedom and access and like social media and all these like opportunities that women have, a lot of women are not willing to do that in my
Yep.
age group.
Yeah, I think now I'm going to debate you on this. I think many of them are. I think you just need the situation that really puts them in position to see the bigger picture. Because
What would
this
that
is
look like?
I don't know. I'd have to be one of those women, and I'm not.
Okay.
Because this is the truth of the matter. The women are seeing the same outcome that us men are.
The- the-
They're seeing the lack of marriage and the lack of this, but they're also seeing those good marriages that they be like, I want that. So who has put me in a position, or am I willing to see the position that I could have that?
The issue is kind of like what we talked about a little bit earlier, is that they're just not like they may think that on the back of their head, but they're not prioritizing it.
I don't need it to be a priority. I need to be the man that sparks that priority in her. See, because let me give you this example.
Okay.
If I come at a woman who's only been used to these type of men coming at her, and I come at her with a different angle and trying to truly build her, not after her body, and just saying this is what I want out of life, and so this is what I'm bringing to the table, it sparks an interest in her to say, you know what? Have I been looking at this wrong? Because if they're leading with their body and leading with their looks, but I see something deeper in them, and that's what I'm attracted to, and that's what I go after, either they're going to be mature enough to say, I see something different in him, or they're going to be immature to say, he's weird. He didn't even want to have sex with me. You're not ready. You see what I'm saying?
Women like that do exist, but in my experience, that those are more so of the exceptions.
Let me say this: that's your experience, because those women just the ones you've experienced just weren't ready to see the bigger picture. One of the next one is.
I mean, it is a numbers game. It is.
It is. Because those same women, Jordan, when they look back at their life 10 years from now, you know, they normally will say, God, no, I should have been thinking like this a lot sooner than that.
Well, often what
A
happens.
lot of women that have kids already, a lot of them are so broken and so a lot of them embarrassed by where they are. So they don't want to go back on, like you hear women say this, I don't regret nothing I've done. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Most men do as well. Yes, you do. Yeah, but when we as a human race, not just male or female, when we start just being more honest with ourselves and saying, man, you know what? I wish I'd have kept myself for this, or I wish I would have waited for this or not done this. I'm my wife, I'm her third husband. I'm willing to bet every penny in my bank account that she would say, I wish Joaquin was my first husband. That's not the case. Fact of the matter is, I'm her third husband. Nothing's going to change that. But because of the stigma and the either the little shame that comes behind that, when my wife looks back at it, she's like, no, I wish I would have waited and been more mature enough to wait for this man. That's what maturity looks like. But I'll tell people, keep carrying yourself like a king. Keep carrying yourself like a queen. But you're going to be found. This is the thing, though. Does it have to be what you have painted the picture of what you think you want? Because all honesty and all truth right here, you hear it from my mouth. My wife, when I met her, was not the kind of material that I'd have been asking God for. See, so women, people here listening to me, if we're going to make this spiritual, I've been praying for this. Do y'all know God's position, his job is even protect us from ourselves? If I would have gotten the woman that I prayed for and told God that I wanted, I probably wouldn't be married. I probably wouldn't be married right now, initially. But you know how good God is? And 18 years into my marriage, I look back at the list that I had for God, and my wife is everything on that list other than foreign, because I didn't want her to be from the U.S. And technically, if you meet my wife and deal with her, she probably ain't from the U.S. Crazy she is. But seriously, sometimes what we ask God for, God doesn't give us. He doesn't give us that right then. But if we keep walking that process out, we'll understand and see that everything we ask for produced itself. And that's what many people in this generation aren't willing to wait out. They want everything right now. This ain't a waiting game.
My dad calls it the microwave generation.
My grandmother used to say that. My grandparents were married 59 years, bro. And I used to literally sit back as a 12, 11, 10, 11, 12-year-old kid and hear her talking to my aunties and uncles. And when she would give advice to them, she would be like, y'all walk around here too busy being microwavable. As soon as it gets hot, you want to jump out.
Yeah, that's right. It's true.
And they don't realize is when the hotter you get, most people don't realize this. In order for certain things to be built and some things to be forged, it has to be heated up so it can be molded. That'll preach right there. You're dealing with these metal, even a glass bulb. If you watch and see how glass stuff is made, it's heated up.
Oh yeah, takes time too.
Then cooled off. These big structures we're looking at, that metal had to be heated up to get to a right angle so it can be used the right way. But as soon as we get heated up, we want to jump out. You jump out even before you even produce. And guess what they do? Guess what they do with scrap metal?
Discard it.
They discard it, put it with other metals, and heat it up to make something else.
Yep. 100%.
Hey man, this has been a good conversation. This has been a good conversation.
It's a great conversation. Let's do this again sometime.
Most definitely. And this is why I love my podcast. I'm looking for people who are everyday Morgans.
Yep.
Those are the people I'm looking to do interviews and stuff with and doing my podcast because we're more relatable. So look, I think next I have to have me a female on here so we can balance this thing out as they because I don't want them to think they're being beat up and
And this is not my intention, but I think these are a lot of uncomfortable perspectives and truths that just don't get normally talked about.
Yeah. It has to be truth. I don't know in one situation that harsh truth isn't a little hurtful. My granddaughter, and this is for anybody who doesn't agree with that. My granddaughter, about 5 weeks ago, you know what she told me? She's 3 years old. Brought her downstairs. She's spent the night at our house that night. Okay. And I'm talking to her, and I'm still in the bed, and she's talking, and she said, Pop, your breath stink. And I bust out laughing. I said, get your little behind on my face. Now, was what she said the truth, Jordan?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I had that little morning breath. Was it hurtful? To a certain extent. But guess what I did?
What, brush your teeth? There you go.
Jordan, I went and brushed my teeth. And you know what I went back to her and said? How Papa breath smell now? And she said, it smells good now.
See, shout out to her.
People don't want to hear the truth sometimes and just do what they need to do to fix what's being said.
I agree.
If your man tells you, hey, you gaining some weight, you're a little fat, or however he says it, how you get, you know what most women say? Well, I know somebody who would like it. No, see, you missed the point.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about things we can fix. My wife just told me the other day, all right, baby, I need you to get your six-pack back. And I had something smart to say, but guess what? Guess what I did later on that night? Start getting them sit-ups back.
Do some sit-ups, crunches.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
The truth is, she wants to see me with my six-pack again. Okay. I can get an attitude a bit, or I can get to work and say, hey, babe, you just gave me a goal to work toward. Thank you.
Yeah. You guys push each other to be better people. Yeah.
Let's be realistic about this. My wife can't walk to me and tell me I want you to be 6'3". Hey, babe, we gonna work on things we can help. And we can work out. I'm 5'10", that's it. But if your spouse walks to you and says, this is the truth about where we are right now, and I need this out of you, as long as it's realistic and attainable, let's go for it. And understand why we're doing it. But it has to go both ways. If you're asking me for this, then there has to be a need from you as well. You just can't say, I need you to lose some weight. Why? Then what are you going to do to help me? Are you going to get up and walk me? Me personally, my wife knows I'll get up with you every morning and walk with you if you want to get in shape. That's my job. I'm not going to be the person who says I want this from you. I'm going to be the person that helps you get there. Yeah. If you tell your man you want him to lose weight and then you don't get up every morning or tell him every other day, hey, babe, I'm so proud of you. You're not being who you need to be, the motivation he needs to be for him.
Yeah, it's what being a help meet looks like.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that has to be a desire to be learned. Unfortunately, because I'm talking to you, Jordan, and we're talking about women and what they're lacking. I want to make sure I keep making the examples that most men hear from women, and they say, "Well, if he needs me to do all that, he ain't a man."
Yeah,
you can't say I'm not a man because that's what God made me. That's my biological build. Yes, I'm a man. But I need you to encourage me in these moments because you're reminding me of what's important for you right now.
Yeah, sure.
Most women can't even cook. When I come home and say, I need you to cook, I ain't finna be cooking no basket. Who you think I am, your mama? No, because she can cook. Oh, she
Got
cook.
him.
Yeah, she cook. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But look, man, this has been a great conversation. Thank you, Joy.
That's been a great conversation.
Thank you, man. We definitely got to do this again, and we got to implement some more meaning to it to give us different perspectives because everything we said is not 100% truth. These are still our opinions and feelings and our experience of what we've experienced. But that's what makes the community so strong when we have all the opinions and different perspectives, and we can build off of that and pull from a pot,
Yeah.
and an amalgamation of information because all information isn't necessarily for me in that moment. But it definitely could be for the next person. Yeah, so man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for being the person that you are, the scholar that you are.
Big
Most
fun
men,
for that.
oh yeah, but that's the thing. But you have to actually take heed to what he's done for you
It's
and
true.
put it in you.
It's true.
Most men aren't even looking at what statistics look like or dating look like statistically. They're just saying it's bad out here.
Yeah, listen, I like to be as objective as possible.
In this Western society, man, a lot of men and women could not handle other cultures from the other part of the world, the other gender. Because one thing about men from Europe and Saudi Arabia and all this, I know this from my travel with the military. They are who they are. You either go like it, they ain't changed.
Yeah, no, not at all. I remember a girl told me one time, like, what if I start dating like outside of the country? I was like, trust me. I was like, you think men are misogynistic or like oppressive in America? Psh, Try to go to Latin America. Ask a Latina how they feel about Latino men.
Male, what are you bringing to the table, and what potential are you bringing to build on to make that table even sturdier?
I think that's a super loaded question, but if I have to put it quickly in a holistic version, I think my ability to understand, adapt, and grow is better because like there are tons of things that I'm only 28 and there's a tons of things that I'm lacking, and I don't let my pride or my ego get in the way of hampering my growth, and I think that's something that's very lacking in people and just in general. So
Yeah.
adaptability I think is super important, and willingness and selflessness. That level of sacrifice I think is lacking.
It
So,
is, and that's what most individuals
no,
are
yeah, that's
lacking
that's a
is the
people thing.
ability to adapt and
Mhm.
change. Because you think because a lot of women think because your body and your looks, and a lot of men think because of their body and their looks or the money they make, this is why the women have chosen you. No. If we go back to what you said earlier about women are making more money than men, especially in certain fields, it's true. That doesn't make you better than that person, nor does it make you the reason that I was attracted to you.
That might not be true in 10 years, 5 years.
That's
That
true.
could
Well,
that could
first of all,
change.
I don't think across the board women make more money than men because there are not as many women in construction, in landscaping, in welding and stuff like that. When it comes to the bulk of why the world moves and moves the way it does,
Absolutely.
still men.
It's just single women in my generation and single men in my generation. That's
Okay.
that yeah. Even in America, married men make the most money in America.
Yeah.
Now, women make up 80% of the consumer base, and they're the ones primarily spending it more. But men still out earn women.
Yeah.
Um,
And
by and
this is the
large.
thing. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way of the world.
Exactly. There's nothing.
My man Kevin Samuel said it best. He said, "Who built America? Who gives you the platform to sit up here and say that I don't need a man?
Yeah.
Men."
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to culture, like even in ancient history, like you can go back to the ancient Aztecs and the Africans. It's like a lot the structure is the same of men leading and providing and women, because that gives you the best chance of survival. If you look at any third world country,
Period.
gender roles give you the best chance of survival. It just does.
Period. We are, and well, let's go ahead and give it to the late great James Brown. He said it best. This is a man's world.
This is a
But we are nothing without a woman or a girl. Because at the end of the day, in order for this world to continue to turn, in order for this world to continue to be populated, we need women.
Yes.
And women need us.
Yes.
But we are the forefront and the head of how this thing is going to be ran. And if we step out of our position, we have an upside down world.
Yeah.
That's just it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gender bashing. It's just the way God has provided this world to be.
Mm-hmm.
Even in nature. Even in nature. How many lions you know that's gonna whoop that lion?
None. Apex predator.
And Jordan, thank you so much for being the guest on Breaking Through the Noise podcast. Man, I've truly enjoyed this conversation. I hope this stirs up a hornet's nest of people who want to have the same conversation.
Absolutely.
There is no definite conversation that is 100% true or right on Breaking Through the Noise, but it
Absolutely.
definitely will get people to thinking differently and opening their mind up to the ability to see outside of their scope.
Yep, and listen, for those who are listening, if y'all have any issues at all with any of the stuff I'm saying or Joaquin is saying, hey, throw it all at Joaquin. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
I second that. Yeah, my show up the handle. I'm ready for the criticism, and guess what? I'm also ready for. I'm ready to eat crow when I have to say I was wrong for that.
Yeah, it's facts. Okay. Yeah. All jokes aside.
Yeah, but you have to be able to come on here and give me facts, not your opinions, not your feelings, and say, hey, this is where you were wrong, and we go have the conversation.
As facts. And ultimately, last thing I'll say, ultimately, I say these things because I want better for our communities. Mm-hmm. I think loneliness and struggling is a big part of it is because we're not needing each other and we're not with each other. And in order for us to be with each other again, we have to understand the root causes of these issues and what's actually happening.
Exactly.
That's the only way to move forward. When a problem happens in any type of workplace, you need to understand the problem in order to fix it.
And you have to understand the problem from an internal perspective and external.
Yes.
More so from an internal, in my opinion. More so from an internal, because you need to be able to understand how it has affected you before you start talking about how it's affecting other people.
Right.
Jordan, man, thank you again. Once again, my name is Joaquin Loper, and this is Breaking Through the Noise. Thank you